Hi, welcome to our top 10 tips for talking to lawmakers. I'm Polly McKinney, and this is my co-host, Sprinkles the Bear. We are going to spend the next few minutes showing you the best ways to talk to your lawmaker. Tip number 1, introduce yourself and smile. Hello, Senator Sprinkles. I'm Polly McKinney. It's nice to meet you. I work at the Polly's Children's Afterschool program. Tip number 2, have a clear and concise ask, which does not mean that you tell them your entire life story and the story of your great Aunt Bertha and everything else. You keep it very simple and very clean, like this. Senator, I would love it if you could come and visit my after-school program. Tip 3, prioritize your talking points. You have to do that because a lot of times these guys are really busy and they don't have time to hear everything that you would like them to know. So you have to kind of let the most important stuff start out your conversation. So it's worth taking a few minutes before you meet with them to think through the top 3 things that you want them to remember after their conversation with you is over. So for instance, I would say to the bear, I think after school is the most important thing that this legislature could fund because kids need that support to get better grades and to have better outcomes for the rest of their lives. Like that. Tip number 4, be polite and respectful. That means that you don't blow bubblegum bubbles in their faces, and you make eye contact if you can, and you recognize the fact that they're working really hard to do the right thing. Tip number 5, don't make assumptions. So when you come to the General Assembly, a lot of times you could possibly find yourself seeing somebody who is a Democrat or Republican or independent and assuming that they're going to think a certain thing or vote a certain way or do a certain something or other. Or you could say that they're male or female or different colors of skin and make assumptions. I recommend not making any assumptions because many of these folks are here just to do good for the state of Georgia. And a lot of times they'll surprise you. Okay, tip number 6, be honest. If you are talking to an elected official or a policymaker and they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, just own that. It's okay. It's okay not to know everything. You can say, you know, actually that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Let me find out and I will get back to you. But be sure you get back to them when you say that. But it's okay not to have all the answers. Why, how much honey is in that honey bee hive? I don't know the answer to that, but I will go weigh it and call you back and let you know the answer. Tip number 7, be a good listener. A lot of times you can make good advocacy headway by listening to what the person you're talking to thinks about your issue. Much of the best work I've ever gotten to do has been because I was listening to folks who were disagreeing with me, and I was able to listen well enough that I could understand why they were concerned with what I wanted to do. And once you know that, you can address those concerns and take it to the next level. And a lot of times, you can win someone over by simply understanding why it is that they don't agree with you. So, Senator Sprinkles, why don't you think that every bear should be tagged? Oh, really? Well, what if we just tagged the bears who volunteered to be tagged? Oh, good. I can agree with you on that, too. Tip number 8, don't get frustrated. Making laws and policies takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. So, big advice, don't give up, but don't get frustrated, and just know that sometimes things take longer than you might expect. What do you mean they didn't hear my bill in committee, Mr. Bear? I was so hopeful. Oh, we just ran out of time because we had a debate on a bigger bill. So don't worry, we'll get to it next week, I promise. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'll be here. Thanks. Tip number 9, offer to follow up later. A lot of times the best way to build a relationship with your legislator is to make sure that they know that you're available to help them out later in the session or when it's not the legislative session. And leave your contact information with them and get there so that you can email back and forth and maybe send them your thoughts or advice, or maybe they can ask you a question. A lot of the best work is done kind of like this. Senator Sprinkles, thank you so much, and I know that this bill isn't necessarily going to go this session, but I'd really like to talk to you more about it in the interim. in the summer. Would it be possible for me to set up a meeting in your district office? Sure, I'll have my assistant call you. It works like that. Oh, tip number 10 is say thank you. Everybody up here is trying to do the best they can, and it really gets you a long way to make sure that they know that you know how hard they're working. So it's great to look at Senator Sprinkles here and say, thank you so much for all you do for kids. I really appreciate this work. So this is me saying goodbye along with my friends Sprinkles and Sprinkleette. And we hope that this little video has made talking to a legislator as easy as well talking to a stuffed bear. See you later. Bye.